Hi.
We are.
When I became a mother, I became sorely disappointed in my adult relationship with my own mother, to the point where I felt that I had to let her go.
You know why? Don't guess, we know.
Thank you.
The reason that your disappointment in your own mother was amplified when you became a mother is because that experience of that exposure caused you to know what you didn't want and know what you did want, and you built this magnificent vibrational escrow about what parenting is and about what parent-child relationship is. And then as you worked to live up to that, it brought into your vibrational equation your awareness of what had not been good before. You see, every subject is really two subjects. It's like picking up a stick. And on one end of it is what is wanted. Plenty of money, not enough money. Wellness, illness. Wonderful relationship, rotten relationship. And so when you start amplifying something on one end of the stick, it causes you to pick up the stick. And whatever is most active starts coming into your experience. And so it's like, in the same way that we said, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. Well, when you know what you do want, you know what you don't want too. So it just sort of began bringing some of that stuff back. So since you can't go back and relive it again, and since you want to feel good now, what do you think your best bet is?
That's where I'm confused now, because I thought that what I needed to do was allow her to die to me. And I thought that that's what I did.
But you see, her. Oh, but you see, you don't want a dead mother.
Right.
You want an aligned mother. Well, that's the same thing. When they're dead, they're aligned. But you don't want to cut her out of your life. You want her in your life in a more positive way. So denying the love that you want to feel is counter to who you really are. You don't want to stop loving her. You want to begin loving her. But what your dilemma is, she's not very lovable.
Right.
And so it's
and she doesn't love me.
Oh, well.
The way I want her to.
That's beside the point. You can't control any of that.
Can't control her.
Can't control what anybody else is doing. In other words, we want to tell you that she loves you plenty, but she's got other things on her mind.
Right.
And you have never been her sole thought. And that is what causes almost every child to feel resentment, because you want to be the center of your mother's universe. And if she has the audacity to have other thoughts in her head, that's the problem with teaching your child that they need to look to you for approval or disapproval in order to know how to behave. Because when somebody holds you as their object of attention and they are adoring you, oh, it feels so good because they're connected to source. They're flooding it all over you. But if they should turn their attention to something else, then you feel like a puppet that somebody's let go of the strings, you see. So as you were living as a child or as an adult, and you sensed that your mother wasn't paying attention to you, you wanted her attention, you thought she didn't love you enough, you wanted more love, you built a picture of what a relationship should be. And it's full of love and understanding. And so when you say, I think I'm just going to cut her off from my mind, I'm just not going to think about her because it's too painful to think about her, you cut yourself off from who you really are. In other words, there is nothing that will rip you apart more than not liking yourself, and second, not liking your mother. You see. And so here's the thing that we really want you to hear. So many people are talking about unconditional love, but hardly anybody gets what it is. Most people, if the condition's nice, you feel love, and if it's not nice, you don't feel love, and then you think the condition should change. And so you say to your mother, and you're not alone in this, almost everybody does it, if you'd be more lovable, I'd love you. And the fact that you don't seem to be able to get that, then I don't love you, and it hurts me not to love you, and it's your fault. Because I'm a lover who wants to love, so be lovable, damn it. And there's complete bondage in that. But when you say, I'm a lover who wants to love, and you're not very lovable, but I can look over there. Oh, now I feel love. I can look over there. I can love because I have the ability to focus upon what I love. And when you train yourself to be a lover, you'll even be able to look at something not lovable and find something lovable in it. But you got to tune yourself to that vibration of love, and then you see lovable things in places where they didn't seem to be there before.
Wow.
It's sort of like Esther can't find her beautiful pen. She can't find it anywhere. My pen's lost. My pen's lost. And it's right there. It's right there, but she can't find it because it's lost. She'll dig through her purse and it just moves all around. It moves all around in her purse and she can't find it. She'll dump her purse upside down on the bed and the pen will stay in the purse. Because you can't find something that's lost and you can't love someone from the perception that you're holding. Law of attraction can't give you something outside of your perspective, you see, or your perception. So you have to shift your perspective. You have to say things to yourself like, I'm a lover who loves and I want to love my mother. We don't blame you a bit. She didn't understand. If she had known what you're coming to know now, it could have been different, but she didn't know. So she's been crossways of her vibration for a long time and feeling pretty darn bad about it. And you can't give love when you aren't feeling it. That's what's bothering you about this. This is why you want to cut yourself off from her, because you want to love your children, but when you hate your mother, you're hating, not loving, and so you can't be a loving mother while you're hating your mother. And that's what's bothering you about all of this. And it's all your mother's fault, it feels like. But now you say, but I'm starting to get a handle on this. I hate her, and who knows why she was like she was. I can't go back that far. She doesn't talk about it. But we want to say to you that this desire to feel good, now you feel better, don't you?
I do.
You do. You feel better. You sort of let some of it out. You got mad, so you feel less lost. And now we'll coach you towards something that's less anger, into a feeling of frustration maybe. But what we really want to do is call you into a feeling of hopefulness. And because of the shift that we felt take place within you, we think you can do that. So just listen to our words and see if it doesn't shift within you. I like knowing what I've come to know. And I'm starting to get the idea that I don't become unless life causes me to become it. And I've been really hard on myself because I learned it from my mother. And blame sure feels better than guilt, so I've turned a lot of that back on her. But frankly, none of it feels good, and I'd like to let it all go. I can't really let it all go all at once because I'm so tied to my past. And so much that I am now is tied to memories that I have in all of that. But I'm starting to feel my resonance with who I really am. And giving birth to my children was such an emphatic time for me because loving them reminded me of who I really am. And I had been so mad at my mother for so long, I hardly let myself love anything. And when those kids came, they just sucked love right out of me. And then I realized how bad the other felt. And so isn't it interesting that this contrast has helped me to know that I really am a lover who must love. And since I can't do anything about my mother, but I can do something about the direction of my thoughts, I'm going to start feeling more hopeful about this. So I'm hoping I can sort of let this go. And I'm hoping she'll change, although I'm sort of doubtful about it. But I'm hoping that the influence of my mother, I will start to leave in the past a little more. And I'm hoping that I can begin to look for more of her positive aspects. And I'm hoping that my dear children, who are pure positive energy, will be the dominant vibration in our household. And when I find myself feeling angry at my mother, I realize I can think, mother, children, ooh, this feels a lot better. And as I realized that I have control of the direction of my thoughts, and my mother was not born to pay attention to me. Every person in the universe, every person that is around me is selfishly oriented. Self simply means seeing through the eyes of self. No one can see other than through the eyes of self. So all that has gone wrong here is that for a while I misunderstood that, and I thought that my mother should be the one exception in all of the universe and that she shouldn't be self-centered, that I should be the center of her universe. And it was a little uncomfortable to find out that I'm not, but it doesn't matter because now I know that I'm the center of my universe. And I'm going to use every fiber of my being, and I'm going to use all of my parenting skills to make sure that I imbue my kids with the understanding that they are not the center of my universe either, and that I'm not the center of their universe, that we all have source energy at the basis of that which they are. And I'm going to show them that I am a lover by reaching for thoughts that feel love to me. And I'm going to say to them on a regular basis, you know, it's so easy to love you because you are so lovable. And everybody's not that easy to love, but I'm working on always being in a place of love because I have the ability to give my attention. And as you show them this, they'll have no trouble on the playground. They'll have no trouble when they're teenagers. They'll have no trouble being physical beings because you will have shown them that they can choose a downstream thought. They can choose to see the world through the eyes of their connected selves, or they can get out there on the raw and ragged edge and feel rotten. There's going to be a time really soon, not far from now at all, when the resentment that you feel for these lost years, these years that you haven't felt love, will be a distant memory. And in fact, the capacity of your love is going to be so strong that it is our promise to you that you will one day appreciate the discord that your mother provided for you, because it parlayed your desire for love into a place that is unparalleled and would not be there if it were not. The very children who came to you are as a result of that asking that was put there by that contrast. You see, Jesus said, turn the other cheek. And that's what he was talking about. Give your undivided attention to the expanded version of you. And you know, we want to let you know that you must keep up with you if you are to be the joyful being that you were born to be. You just can't be source energy and come into a physical body and have the life-giving experience that you knew you would have and expand into these wonderful new awarenesses and not go with the expansion. And when you don't feel good. And when you do, you feel passion and eagerness and joy. When you let yourself be, when you resonate with the true nature of who you are, you feel glorious. You feel enlivened. You feel vital and alive. You feel love. You feel joy. You feel appreciation. You love your life. You love those that you are looking at. You feel like Source feels. You see your world through the eyes of Source. But when you feel negative emotion, whether you call it frustration or whether you call it overwhelmment or whether you call it disappointment or whether you call it fear or whether you call it disempowerment, every emotion that you feel is about your alignment or your not alignment, your allowing or your resistance to who you have become. Now we want you to know you can't keep this resistance up long, because when you croak, we love that disrespectful word because there is no death. But when you withdraw your attention from this physical experience and you croak, you're going to reemerge back into pure positive energy. You will then in that moment become all that life has caused you to be, all that you were before that has come into this physical experience, and all that this life experience has caused you to evolve to. When you have what you call your death experience, and we lovingly and disrespectfully call your croaking experience, you will come into vibrational alignment immediately with the fullness of who you are. We just want you to know you don't have to croak to get there. You can tune yourself to the vibration of who you are if you'll pay attention to the guidance that you were born with. And that's what those emotions are letting you know. Every time you feel negative emotion, no matter what label you give it, you are in that moment thinking about something in a way that the broader you is not thinking. For example, who you really are adores you. And when you are beating up on yourself, you're causing a separation. Who you really are loves others. And when you find some nitpicking reason to poke and prod at them, to find fault with them, to disrespect them, to not like them, to not love them, to hate them, when you find something within them that you do not love and you fixate upon it until you have a chronic vibration about it, you separate yourself from who you are. And then, almost without exception, you blame them. If they would be different, then I would feel better. If you would be more like this person I love, you not so much. If you would behave like that, then I would feel that way about you. And we say, oh, what conditional love that is. And what an impossible thing you're asking. You're saying, you hold the power to how I feel, because I don't have any ability to choose what I look at. I can't turn the other cheek. I can't tune myself to who I am. I just have to look around at what is. And so I sloppily look around and I see that and I feel good, and I see that and I feel bad, 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 and I don't want to feel bad. So all of you need to change. You need to clean up your act, child of mind, mother of mine, husband of mine, wife of mine, friend of mine, government of mine. You need to clean up your act so that I can feel better, because at every level of my being, I know I'm supposed to feel good. And when I don't, something's gone terribly wrong. And we want you to understand Something is wrong temporarily, but it's not something to ask someone else to tend to. And when you try to get them to do it, you are powerless. That's why it feels the way it does. But when you catch on to the knowledge that you are source energy in a physical body, and that this life has caused you to expand, and that the larger part of you took the expansion just like you knew it would, and if you're not going, you're not up to speed with who you are, now you understand how it all works, and now you can utilize your guidance.